back. This is Boomer Life on CL 650.
We are back. This is Boomer Life on CL 650, and in the studio with Philips Lifeline, Canada's #1 medical alert service, we are talking to Tracy Griffin, who is on the line with us from Toronto. In studio, Jeanette Chouinard, and Veronica Lynch, the program manager for the Delta Lifeline program. And it was interesting as we were talking to Seamus, about the frontline activities and when the calls go out and somebody's help, that there is a report on that. I was trying to think how you keep track of how you did and response times and all this. So there is a report. Perhaps you could tell us more about how that is all put together.
Any of our subscribers in Delta that push their button and they're talking to people like Seamus in Toronto, we in Delta get a report on the entire call from the start to the finish. And we can see where they've got the responder, or they couldn't get this responder, they've got the next. But we can see for the entire incident when that button was pushed, everything that transpired. And that gives us a lot of confidence in Delta that we're providing an incredible service to our subscribers.
Boy, that'll be automatic feedback. So if there's something that you could do a little bit better, you learn from that. That can go into the training. I would think that's phenomenal. So you're accounting for yourselves all the time.
And it's wonderful in a sense too that if anything did happen to any of our subscribers, we know immediately and we can contact the family and speak to them and find out how they're doing, and it gives us a more personal touch.
Not just names, not just numbers, not just some letters on a piece of paper. These are the people you care for.
Absolutely.
Wonderful. Something else that we were talking a little bit earlier about the work that the auxiliary does in Delta and the great people that are involved. And something we should have mentioned, and we didn't get a chance to, but I'd like to talk about it now, is people helping people. And this auxiliary has a real business plan when it comes to making sure you have all the latest technology and the advancements. Tell us about what the auxiliary does.
We actually had a meeting not that long ago, and we were doing some hardcore decisions as to where we wanted the auxiliary to go in the future. And the Delta Hospital Auxiliary are made up of a bunch of incredibly intelligent businesswomen. And from when they first were established, they have invested wisely. They have used the funds on a regular basis to do a lot for the hospital. They actually own the thrift shop in Ladner, and that generates an incredible income that is all donated back to the hospital. They run the cafe within the hospital. They run Lifeline. But they are so supportive of the Lifeline program that they will work with me anytime that I need something done. These women that established it way back when have no idea, I think, how it's progressed. And they've left it in good hands with a lot of good volunteers that give all of their time back into our community. And when I tell people when they phone and ask about whether to get a Lifeline or maybe go with a competitor, the one thing I say is your money, when you invest with your Lifeline, goes right back to your hospital. And that means a lot to anybody that lives in the community.
So they own the thrifty
stores.
Shop. Yep. They own the thrifty shops. They own the buildings, right?
Yes.
So they get all that money then is turned over
back to the hospital.
And does that raise a lot of money?
Yes, it does. It raises, I'd say, the auxiliary can raise close to about $1 million a year to put back into the hospital and the community. And quite often you'll find in the little hospital gift shop, which is the other thing that they own and operate extremely well, I might imagine, is a list of all the things they have bought for that year for the hospital and the total that it cost. So every time you shop in the gift shop, which has wonderful buyers and beautiful merchandise, you eat at the cafe, you get your Lifeline, it stays within our community, and that makes Delta Hospital, I think, incredible.
Wow. Now, Jeanette or Tracy, maybe you can help. Is this an example for others, or are other people that you work with doing similar things?
I guess I can answer that for the province, because I've heard incredible stories just like Delta's. For example, there was a program, a hospital in the Caribou, that had a fundraiser. They sold a side of beef to buy their first Lifeline units. And so, that's the kind of community spirit and support that you find with Lifeline, that's just generated throughout the province. I can tell you many stories like that.
And you can't wait for the government to help you out. It's the funding is very limited, and so you have to do something to help your own community. And in this case, the generation that helped develop this country, and now they need our help, and especially in a Lifeline situation where the auxiliary can raise money, make sure the newest equipment is there, that you're ready for the next level. That's a pretty amazing story.
Yeah,
Wonderful.
they're a pretty amazing group of people that have done so well for our community.
Okay, if I recall, my dear old dad's words were whenever somebody was talking so greatly about a service and how important it was and what it can do for them, the first words out of his mouth would be, and what would this Lifeline medical alert service cost, George? Okay?
That's so true. Well, there is a variation in the price, and it depends on the model that they choose and the type of service and the community they live in. So it can range anywhere from $35 to $85.95. So the best thing to do is call 1-800-LIFELINE, and they can give you that information.
All right, that's important. That when you think about the service that it provides and peace of mind, the feeling of confidence for those who are going to use it, the peace of mind for the caregivers, you can put that all in mind and figure out what the value is there. How is the Lifeline service set up in the home, Jeanette?
I'll let you answer that.
We have wonderful volunteers that have been ex-Telos employees or whatever they've done in the past, and they're the ones that actually come to the home. They sit with the subscriber, they do the assessment for the subscriber, they bring the information back to us in the office, we set it all up through Philips, then they take the machines and they hook them up and they actually feed off your telephone line. So everybody has to have that phone line on the system we have right now, but with the wireless system it would be a little bit different. And these gentlemen never leave that home until they know that that subscriber can be heard in every room of their home, that the subscriber can hear Lifeline and Lifeline can hear them, and they're very, very comfortable with what they have in place.
The other thing is the learning curve. I know a lot of parents, grandparents, I don't know how to work with this gadget. What do you call it? So how do I learn or how does the client learn how to use the Lifeline system?
These volunteers that we have with Delta Lifeline especially, I can only reiterate too, are so patient, and they will sit for an hour if necessary. They're volunteers, have a cup of tea until the person feels comfortable. And as they have said in the past, he said, we don't rush. We will stay, and they don't leave until mom or dad are very comfortable with the system. And if there's a son or daughter there as well, they make sure that they understand the whole process. And basically all they say is just push that button and we're there for you.
Well, what happens if I push the medical alert button and I can't get to the phone?
You're automatically heard. It automatically sets off the unit that's by your telephone, and all of a sudden a voice will come through and say, George, this is Lifeline, how can we help you? And you are talking to them. You may be laying on the floor in your kitchen, but that button has activated your phone line, connected with Lifeline, and they're there for you.
And I'd like to add too that the communicators, they have amplifiers in them, so that if you're in the bathroom, the monitors can hear you. They can just turn up the volume, and you can hear quite often the monitors unless you are hard at hearing.
And if you're in a bigger home, you can get what's called a voice extender module that's put in another part of the house, so you're getting it from both sides.
Well, here's another question that would come up if dear old dad were here. He said, well, what if I move? What if I move? Can I keep the service? What happens then?
Okay. And that's, all they have to do is notify us at Lifeline or with the programs, and, give us usually about a month's notice, and we can set it up in their homes, at your new homes again.
All right.
Yeah.
And how far away from home will the Lifeline button work?
We've had people that they're usually out in their garden or whatever. It's within a certain number of feet outside, and you can be heard if you're in your little patio or your little balcony in your apartment. Our fellows actually do the walkabout with the subscribers so that they can see how far they can be heard.
And then with GoSafe, you know, this, because it has the technology where they can get access, you know, of help when they're out and about, you know, in the community, they can go anywhere with it because it has the 6 locating technologies with Wi-Fi and the satellite and breadcrumbing, you know, and so it can work outside of the home, and we can locate them with these technologies, these fall detecting technologies. And then if we can't, you know, still, you know, we're in the vicinity of them and we still can't see them, the button also has an audible beacon that the monitor can set off from their station in the button, and it will, you know, be a loud alarm. But quite often, if the client is just out, or the subscriber is just out for a walk, and maybe they get tired and they want their daughter to come pick them up, all they have to do is press the button and talk through the pendant. It's like a little two-way cell phone, like, you know, to the response center.
And keep it on.
Keep
It's
it
not.
on.
It's not jewelry to be taken off.
That's
this is
right.
Your
That's
connection.
so important.
All right. There is so much more information that you can get anytime at lifeline.ca, or you can call 1-800-LIFELINE. These folks will direct you to find whatever answer that you might have about this. You've been listening to Boomer Life on CL 650. It has been a great discussion today with our friends from Lifeline, and we hope that there's been some information in here that can help you as a caregiver, or if you're that person who is alone, wants to stay in your home and wondering who you can reach out to. Now you've got some information. So I would like to thank Veronica Lynch, the program manager for Delta Lifeline program, Jeanette Chouinard and Tracy Griffin from Lifeline, Philips Lifeline, Canada's #1 medical alert service. And we will talk to you again soon. So many great stories of how you're helping people. Keep on keeping on. This is Boomer Life on CL 650. You have fun?
Absolutely.
Tracy?
Absolutely.
Hi there.
How are you doing? Were you